The Department of Defense says 1,000 troops who identify as transgender are moving forward with a voluntary discharge option. This is just days following a decision from the Supreme Court saying a ban on troops with gender dysphoria can't continue amid legal challenges.
The Department of Defense said about 1,000 troops who've been identified as having gender dysphoria have taken a voluntary discharge option. The military says that those who take this option may be eligible to receive voluntary separation pay. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says that this is in line with President Trump's prioritizing military excellence and readiness executive order.
He put out an executive order a week into his presidency stating the prioritizing military excellence and readiness, that expressing a false gender identity divergent from an individual's sex cannot satisfy the rigorous standards necessary for military service. We agree, and so we implemented that policy.
The order is facing lawsuits, and the policy was temporarily blocked. However, on May 6th, the Supreme Court said that the policy can continue to move forward while legal challenges play out.
In accordance with policy now reinstated, service members who have a current diagnosis or history of or exhibit symptoms consistent with gender dysphoria may elect to separate voluntarily. There's a timeline here, and then eventually involuntarily if necessary.
Secretary Hegseth said in a memorandum that active duty troops have until June 6th for this option. Reserves have until July 7th. The Lambda Legal and Human Rights Campaign Foundation, which are representing the transgender troops in a court case, responded to the Supreme Court's decision to allow the ban to move forward, saying the policy has nothing to do with military readiness and everything to do with prejudice. And according to a previous memo, troops with gender dysphoria can apply for a waiver if they can show a, quote, compelling government interest to keep them that directly supports warfighting capabilities. On Friday, the Department of Defense also instructed the military to identify any library materials that, quote, may conflict with our core mission. The chief Pentagon spokesperson said in a statement, quote, the department's instructional materials should be mission-focused and not promote divisive concepts and gender ideology. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Jason Blair, NTD News.